different. But UK was very, very. You might not even notice. Any patient Max Airport because the COVID drive.
I said since our Prime Minister announced that people can move freely, no responsibility is the individual.
I think.
Obi akura jai the house say. First now bro fulu kura bia no mu gina Downing Street number 10 anymore. No more sap, no more tonyom. Say omu gina jai.
I see.
Because they are free to move about.
Yeah, I've realized that people are not even wearing the face masks in view.
Right.
But the Ghana, your health system and your advanced idea. So you have to be careful.
Yes.
We are still treading very cautiously. See Omicron also. Another Omicron, we some baby, another dream. And it's like the home boy home by.
Converso home at your house. I ask of Ketua.
Oh, better no be with the enemy. Yes, we are still trying to save our lives. COVID, that we've seen how it has devastated other countries.
Okay.
We are trying to say Ukraine be able to buy now until we are absolutely certain. Say we be as we try now. Still, it is maximum best.
Say experience now when you are how bet me the be a coffee.
Kaka.
Aye.
Yeah, kaka.
At least okay na M1 and penny for and reflecting on it.
Oh, yeah.
Because
it's been nice based on the science and the data, and or share the data now and determine the trajectory of Ghana. Or share more hospitals, the health infrastructure are very advanced.
Very advanced.
Very advanced. Unfortunately, yeah, and health system they can easily be overwhelmed. COVID by they are shocked every country in the world, though, but they are shocked here. So imagine saying and the kind of effect that people who are in the economy is say other countries. Maybe Ghana. As I can see, as a
more
and across the West African sub-region, even though it's a COVID, affect you, Appiah. So Ghana, we've been lucky by the grace of God.
Yes.
In terms of the fatalities, in terms of even the effect on our economy. It's also most West African countries, their citizens are all turning to Ghana. They're all moving to Ghana.
Yes.
Even though say Ghana is not rosy. Yeah, but other West African countries, then when they say Ghana is still a beacon of hope for Africa. Almost the economy, the currency, everything was when they say COVID did a jam. And a jam because of the management, the way it's managing crisis. See, I'm managing a year, and will be suffering like we had Senegal, Gambia, our neighbors.
Obi Busami, although you know who are some the neighbor, but no Obi Busami say Ghana no Britain for a year copy Kakradi Kika. Because you're scientists, almost can be Adam Yantin.
And you're Britain, quiet. You say, it's a review of her. When we saw a formula, after I'm so called a formula before. It will share idea. I work here with Britain, I work with US, I work with China, I work with other places now. Now, so they're too awful. So you learn from the mistakes of other people.
Yes.
Because when Jansen anybody who back with you, it's even with them. I don't see anything wrong with.
Yes,
actually
good.
Copying from the best. But that's the way that you can accelerate your development. Because look at one goes out now. Obia a paracetamol say Oyaria on Matibe Tio Beko. Was you media after me the main pressure media. What was the baby that? Yeah,
okay, good. And they will banana and Kolaya will chroma youngsters. Omutis managing director, State Housing Company Limited. Omuhia, ne will be brave. Some say, na a dear managing director. What is new role? That was State Housing.
Me back UK is like it's very nostalgic. Me as a young man growing up, I think my first major job was actually in the UK. Me work KNUST.
Yes.
From first year, vacations, I used to come to London. I've lived in Luton, I've lived in Brixton, East Ham, Chelsea. The Chelsea was the last place that I lived before I left the UK. And it is like a homecoming.
Okay.
And State House in Jumame, it actually, the genesis I started with UK.
Oh, okay.
When I was working here in a company called Crossland Estates. And then also, my last job from here, I used to work at Appiah Wharf with St. George's Properties.
Okay.
And he is getting into the real estate, the property business now. It started actually in the UK, in London. And then before I say America, I joined Federal National Mortgage company, which is the biggest real estate and mortgage company in the world. And the roots, the genesis, no, I think I got my training, I honed it in the UK, and I'm very grateful for what this country gave me, the experience. I mean,
then when you first went to Ghana, no, what was the challenge like? I mean, they are saying that people are there, culture be, organizational culture they follow, and then also Waba, what was it like?
Oh, so as my can correct, but me Ghana ne me.
Yes.
Ghana ne entertain me, and so you can take the person from the bush, but you can't take the bush from the person.
Yes.
And Ghana should buy to be home. And going back to Ghana, the curve was not so much of so deep. Yes, there are differences, but differences in terms of how, like for example, in this country, we use a lot of technology. Ghana, so maybe very manual. And sometimes one manual process will frustrate you, kakra. But you also have to realize that
yes,
it is. I think most of the time, those of us who worked abroad for so long, the mistake that we make is that we are going to Ghana, want to change Ghana overnight. Rome was not built in a day.
Yes.
And it's always important for you to say, the culture, you understand the culture,
yes.
Then you have to adopt to the culture.
Okay.
And then try to see how you'll be able to marry whatever you are learning, which outside, to be able to change certain things.
Okay.
You're just like so could change maybe overnight. You won't another system not change you.
Okay, yes.
Then you even become worse than what you inherited. It's a kakra, but then now see training. And I think having worked in say or London, even moving from London to Washington DC, it was the same. It was a different culture.
Okay.
The way Ejima was saying is different from how the Americans also work. Even though it is all say first world. And yet but every country that you work in, the culture is different. And the way that you'll be able to adopt the culture will show how you'll be able to survive in that environment.
Now, Nando, in his statement, as a part of MPP manifesto, say or reduce housing deficit in the country. And also will take you role. You say at some point you're having a lot of praise, and then they are saying who can say you announce that majority of the affordable houses built across the country are ready and are available to be sold and rented out. Can you catch in areas what build the houses? And how many houses you have built year after year since you took over your post?
Okay, so Ghana, when I took over State House, I was informed through a research. I still don't have the source data,
okay,
that the housing deficit was 2 million. And when I was told that we have a housing deficit of 2 million, what I was interested in as a social scientist was, okay, 2 million houses now. What are we talking about? Are we talking about housing units, like homes? Are we talking about rooms? Also, what I was interested in was housing deficit. Accra, Kumasi, or Tamale. you're still housing 2 million housing deficits over Ghana. That is part of the research that is still outstanding. I'm trying to figure out where it is. When I took over, there were a couple of projects that you abandoned, and on
Yes.
His Excellency John Ajokunku for Merson started affordable housing. Kuforidia.
Yes.
Kumasi, Wa, and a Tamale, and a Pong. And unfortunately, when NPP lose power, Yenu Animal Medi so abandoned projects for that long. And not even the Enonkwa and His Excellency Jonathan Atamel so by and also started some projects for state housing. And then Myanmar the Major down for John Mahama so by and also abandoned it to start his own housing project. So sure, historically, governments that TBB, other governments by no abandoned, and even in this case, from even NDC to NDC, no abandoned. And so when
it started from Kufo, because
Kufo was the visionary. Kufo by before Kufo, you didn't do affordable housing. Before J. Kufo, state housing had not built in over 20 years. No, I mean from the last one was about in the 80s, 83, 84.
Okay.
But not in BBR till 2001 when Kufo Excellency by, and that is when state housing did the Kejasi estates in Kumasi. That was the first major project in several years. And Osha was a state housing Nakasano. It became a company in '95. And that was when the fortunes started to come from Kakra. The company was, struggling to be on its feet. But around 2006, the company started making profits again, under His Excellency J. Kufo. But unfortunately, 2008 elections, when MPP lost, the company started going down again, all the way until when His Excellency Kufo took over. So it has been a up and down spiral. Back to the answer that I was giving. So when we came to power, the marching orders was these projects now has been abandoned. It should be restarted. It should be completed. Currently, the one in Kumasi, as Point, is 100% completed.
Okay.
The one in Pond is about 85% completed. The one in Kuforidia is about 60% completed.
So when it's half completed, people move in, and I say.
Yeah. So yes, it's available for people to move
in.
Kuforidia, the back home, Kumasi, people are moving in. Kuforidia, we are hoping that by June, people will be able to start. June of this year, people will be able to start moving in. Then we'll be able to tackle the ones in the one in Tamale. We are having some challenges with land issues. Because the way that the land was given to the government, the chiefs that gave it to the government, as a normal assistant in terms of the leadership there. So we are trying to work on the ones in the Tamale and then to solve the land issues that will be able to move in quickly to also do that. Apart from that, so you are starting other new projects. In Kumasi, we started a project there to His Excellency J. Kufo, the Kumukufo Estates, Kumasi. We are quite so just about 30 acres. But Otunfo Sejitu Adaroma, he's given us about 200 acres. The day soil that we're also going to start, and then start another housing project. So, Katechiabu Mankumas, Hirosu Mahin, about 500 acres. It was a Hirosu that we've also started. We finished the first phase of the development, and it's Ghana Immigration Service staff currently started moving in. Omokotsinaho.
Kumasi.
They've been in Hirosu.
Yes, okay.
Western North. So currently, in Appiah is Cape Coast, Fourth Ridge. New estates or for Fourth Ridge estates.
Okay.
Takoradi, we are having some challenges with getting land in Takoradi. And but we are hoping say we'll be able to.
So how do you get funding for this?
It's a good question. So because a limited liability company, it is not part of the government's budget. But however, and I'll come to that later on. The projects that we have done in America, we had to use our own internally generated funds. So for a long time now.
What does that mean to a lay person in the street? Say, what is the own generated funds?
So, what's the go for a break? I say, and I go for Kasemi say Ghana, man.
Yeah, it is Castle.
Good.
That's a comedy.
That is exactly what State House was going through.
Okay.
We had a company, the company for over 30 years. Bill Cry and Command Bida. We over 15 years. Onya Bill Cry. Bill Cry now. When Nimpo say, I was say every month, once every year, be or chair rent.
As a naughty State House.
Not a dining. There was no that focus on actually doing that. So when we came in, we decided to say those, we would go after it and then properly manage them. And we decided to also cut down on expenditure in terms of unnecessary expenditure. Someone like myself and my former deputy, Ronnie Nicole, we worked for almost over 2 years actually without even a salary. Ronnie Nicole too, he was also raised in the UK. There were various ways that we wanted to do to be able to shore up the cash base of the company. That way, you bet to me the see at that and we also did what we call off-plan sales. So started project with heavy marketing. So even before the project is like 10 to 20%. Now it's at all.
Okay.
That way, we will have the money to be able to complete that project and also start new ones. And because that company books is so bad, say, Oko Bank so we weren't even looking at that. Say, okay, how do we think outside the box to be able to raise money near direct projects? And these are some of the ways, including others. And a lot of friends who are also contractors also helped. Myself and my deputy.
So people were allowed to invest money in it, or are they allowed to invest?
So I remember the first time that I spoke to a contractor. So would you help us to build? The contractor said, because the company had the reputation, say, Oye Juma, the projects were half done, and then now it's So for people to pre-finance projects was a problem. So we had to basically put our reputation on the line. So look, we have a record to protect, both of us, and the way that we can do it is the A, B, C, D. This is the plan that we have. So basically, just trust us, we will deliver. And there are some people who took us on for it, tested us, and then we delivered. And so they were able to do more and more. And some of them are even in the UK. I can mention Richard Mensah in Milton Keynes. He was one of them who, as difficult as it is, he's like, okay, I'm going to test you to see how you'll be able to deliver. So Kakra, we were able to raise money internally without using the bank.
Is there a plan in place to say Appiah, people abroad, if you invest this money, you can get this much back?
Okay, so yes, now it's easier. Now our books are better.
Okay.
Now we have big companies like ALD, Friends Alliance for France for Development. These are people who initially 4 years ago they were even touched us with the loan pool. They are all now coming in, seeing the record, the track record of the company, and then the way it's managing the legacy debt that we inherited, and also the way I see it moving the company forward. It makes it even easier. And we have a proper structure in terms of how we are bringing investors who wants to partner with us. And in Ote Kromas and Auti, and I say, oh, any vision to invest in housing in Ghana. Yes, State Housing, we are ready.
Now, so at the time, Honorable Samuel Appiah, Minister of Works and Housing, or say some sikabi or the criminal case as kabi just ayira to say the can say the books no correct court. Did anything come out of it?
Oh, and meaning the exact case because there are several.
I will say there's been a misappropriation in the sum of over $159 million.
For which project?
And the ministry lodged a criminal complaint on 8 June 2020 when the Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghana Police Service. One can't exactly where. Was say Attacher, Minister of Works and Housing at the time, said the ministry has since transferred the three affordable housing sites to SHCL for completion, and Ghanaians should have affordable dwelling homes within 12 months. I mean, he said it, but that 12 months, this was in 2020. Now, to today, that 12 months, there is still a number of homeless people in Ghana. People are working and they don't have places to sleep.
Okay, so if we say there are 2 million homes or housing a year, we've not built 2 million. So definitely we've not been able to put everybody in a home. And our goal is not to put everybody in a government home. That is not the plan. So our plan is to, like, let me give you a typical.
So Bibia on no kind any she say na consume.
Oh, and consume. And so Musa said which
mama a producer
which project, because in terms of the criminal cases, there's a lot of them that is in the court. And I wouldn't want to even comment on the ministry one. It's a ministry there, and put it at the police level.
Yes.
Even at the State Council level, in terms of some things that happened. And it's a normal criminal system, that's all court. Sometimes when you are commenting on it, it's already. And see, like there's a project that was started under, I think it was under President Mills, with John Muhammad took over, was abandoned. The BNI, UECO investigated it. They found a lot of so much criminality in the whole transaction that is also, with that AG department that they are looking at.
I jail will be of it or arrested anyone to do with these things.
Oh, now say a court case name in jail. It's a process. So there's a lot of things that are being investigated on it. And, with us now, our goal when we came to State Housing was not witch hunting. There was an audit was done.
Okay.
And whatever criminality of it, the Attorney General, the law enforcement were handling it. We were focusing on turning the fortunes of the company around and making sure that we are putting Ghanaians into homes, not necessarily witch hunting. And I said, when looking out for left, right.
Well, that means if you are this can or no, why you free?
Oh, there be, and only a police for any Attorney General.
But says will be the Nico.
Or send it. We will give them the files. They would come in. They did an entire audit. They have the information that they want. That they give us the report that okay, this is what we have found, and this is what we have handed over to the Attorney General. And now, the Attorney General or the lawyer. So they are the ones who determine what to do next and where. Maybe I just go to court equity, just as curiosity as a Ghanaian. But it is the job of the lawyers who do that. Our mandate or my mandate was to make sure yes, they are Ghana for, and that is what we are doing. That's what we are delivering in terms of how do we make. And you see, the goal is not just to build for Ghana for let me say Kano. When you be a crown a pedato, obi hope affordable rental. And now, when the state is involved in real estate, yeah, we serve as a calming effect on the market. Let me give you a typical example. So you see, homes in where we are building in Adenta, that private people were building, before we started building, 4-bedroom, they would charge about $450,000 for 4-bedroom. Okay, so now State Housing comes in. We are doing a higher quality home, more beautiful, as a matter of fact. If you see Adenta, no be over, of course. Now we are sure say I buy me if you. You bought trauma, then
is it shop. Ghana workers or
we are using Ghana workers
or
State House.
Okay.
So now you are building your home and selling it for $40,000. The state comes in, build much higher quality, more spacious, and it's about half the price.
Okay.
Invariably, yes, now the market will react. So it will force the private person who is looking for abnormal profit to also reduce the price.
Okay.
A lot of private people are not happy with me because of that. Because the State House and the SCC dying Ben, we are forced to reduce our prices. So by so doing, it makes homes more affordable than it was in the past.
Yes.
So the idea of affordable housing is not just state non but the state also forcing the markets to react.
Economics. But however, people are saying, most of the houses that are being built, from state housing, foreigners here and able to turn idea because, for example, mortgage houses near this because local people they can't afford. They say but they cannot afford. It's their dream, but to be able to afford is difficult.
My brother, it is a small kind of quick to do. Your humanity is dying. I'm a Ghana Nibia Opifi Aton. One problem you war Ghana abandoned home projects and uncompleted buildings. And about 80% or so Ghana for Omotiabrochi. 7 years out Tiabrochi. Open Diana or Ghana. Only been a Bessiano and our Danfobi. Ebia onya £500, £1,000 onya komano. Or they call no this in
yes.
Or the kakra accordion. So you end up building 2 homes back up in the audience. Yes. Now no crowd of completion in the age out there.
Yeah, no correct.
But so we are Ghanaian. And it is our responsibility to make sure say if you have a home now to Ghana, so bet me the be juma there for Nepal as well Ghana.
Yeah.
Oh my yes economy na abuano. Now so all the scanning free Britain ever to down Ghana. Say Britain's the Canada. It basically it's like we are exporting homes to Britain.
Yeah.
So we are helping the economy. So we don't discourage Ghanaians from buying homes in Ghana. We actually encourage it.
Okay.
Because more the capital and bar and no one that we made CC a dime baby. And once we are building more, economies of scale, the prices comes down.
Until this can back Nadamfo, I'm an discount. Oh, we need there. Or the state housing, or a better. But a lot of people think that state housing is for Ghana workers only, like people, civil servants.
State housing for Ubia or Canada.
Okay.
Regardless of your location, you're gonna inquire that you turn it. Oh, and when we have the foreign capital, because it's coming.
Yes.
She said. UK for the back, Germany the back, America for the back. You see that a company in Yesika. That is how we are able to build more. Emma Nesu Obias. In the
Mobia Okushia OC Airport, yes, at the chain, the number cover be seen it. Amano. Nipa will be busy. Oh,
I hear such stories every day.
Yes.
Say obi over here could be that picture and that trend say oh then you after you withdraw or hearing that stories. We encourage Ghana for among say odi usika be kwa komo obi na wa ambassador there for pray you their address. But
workers ofie no omo obi o ha anka ne je ho but say just 10% deposit na normally moje obenya more different schemes because I know say it be a 10% deposit. Last no be come back coach me say o 2 years can obetuani nyina wi ansa na yesi dynamo.
Okay, and yes, obetuani nyina wi yesi dynamo, and there's I don't know where that came from. So the idea, say, and it's even gotten better. We are Ghana. This is just for workers in Ghana, and this is just something that this government has started.
Okay.
When we took over governance, mortgage rate was about 30%.
Okay.
As a minimum mortgage rate is over Britain. But because I say mortgage, you'll be pay 30% mortgage, you'll be no better than Oklahoma.
No, I think it be at 12.5. It depended the banks, no.
But that was how much it was kind. And so we realized that even if you build homes, you'll be any security better. So the homes will be certain.
Okay.
So this government, through the National Mortgage Scheme, brought up an innovation. Say, banker obey a mortgage, no, the government will match the funds.
Okay.
So by so doing, now banks are able to do mortgage rates for as low as 11.9%.
Oh, okay.
Over 20 years. But you have to be, is the qualification criteria. And one of it is you have to be working in Ghana, obviously. And you know, in another man, Ghana, now you have the access to the funding to be able to buy a home.
Okay.
Because you see, I know, say, a dime, my brother, if you say, I can say, maybe 2 mansion amount, 100,000 cedis. That's it, Sika only 10,000. Even though, because, a mansion with 100, they care for the year, but we see anywhere ultimately. But once we're able to give the person the loan, because suddenly, you know, we can say 200,000 now, the person is able to afford. So that is the trajectory that we are going now as a country. And by so doing, you know, it also means we can do more homes. We are talking to various banks, even in the UK, to see how we can use your credit profile to apply for a mortgage in Ghana.
Okay.
That is another innovative thing that we are thinking through. It is worked in other jurisdictions. UK not so much, but we are still pushing. So you'll be able to use your credit profile to qualify for a mortgage from here. Say if you're Halifax, that's the issue. The NatWest, the bank, they'll be able to give you a mortgage in Ghana so that you pay it off here.
I notice Ghana, say how much started credit check slowly. The process is kind of going on.
Yeah, started,
remember discipline about
to bring discipline. Because Obi Ohio, your local bank, bank, but right now, with the new technology platforms that we are creating, and banks are talking to each other. And if Ojimi and GP banks, the way that it was done in the past, Obi Ohio, so it's easy to check now. We are trying to bring sanity into the.
Now, what scheme now discriminating against low earners or workers are omunje skakesiye no ye juma na owo dream on in the family be almost share one room passenger house now almost struggle. What are the scheme doesn't it discriminate government intimi be similar to data betima ama almost no at least in almost move free those environments.
As a matter of fact, that scheme is actually targeted towards low income. The goal is even if regardless of your income, government worker, and as you have a steady stream of income, you'll be able to get on a mortgage with this. And the hope is say you have over 600,000 people on government payroll, even in the Greater Accra region. So if we're able to take even half or even a quarter of these people away from the rental market, that will reduce pressure on rental. So landlords will then be forced to reduce the cost of rental. Because as of now, no pedine require higher. It will be able to tune the more rough.
What can someone? Also, opebia higher unya. A lot are blaming that. I'm sorry to say, and this is not just picking on Nigerians or South Africans, but a lot are saying, Nigerians are coming to the Ghana and they are the ones renting homes. at the moment. Me kura minimum be ordinary Diama Nigeria.
And I make us say, it is right now with economic integration, especially in the last couple of years. West African brothers are seeing Ghana as the place to go.
Okay.
It is something that comes with it. And they are small, and Appiah, Madam for Nigeria, maybe. No, catch them, say, other West African countries, share me Kufuado economy. And I was asking him, said, Nahoga, Azemenaki. It was Debbie, what's a Ghana and you, but Kufuado, good Africa, West Africa. And Omono, they have to rise up and talk to their governments to check Ghana. Only with the internal Kasasama. Because no says, to say, I know. Omax Nama Kufuado, 1D1F, Ghana. Companies incentives to operate factories in Ghana. So companies in Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Benin, all these factories, they are relocating to Ghana. Ghana, even big multinationals, Toyota, VW, Omunina moving to Ghana to set up factories because of the incentives that exist in the neighborhood at the moment. So, Oman here, all their industries are going to collapse. Their youth are going to be unemployed. Their youth are going to rise up against the elites because much more and the neighborhood of Ghana and all this. Meanwhile, we have trade after headquarters of SABC Ghana. See, Africa trade in our headquarters outside of Ghana. So now, Ghana will just be producing for the rest of Africa. It's, we are producing and then they will have to be buying for us. They could find the person China or Ghana, where Ghana will be the producer and then they will be the market. He was talking to very, very, agitated. Say the way I see there is that drove of people from West Africa will be Ghana. But and also the fault say the Nadu may be or no share the future of Ghana. It's kaka. But back to housing. It's true. A lot of people moment and then Madam the Gambia maybe a friend so person in the bush and for Ghana. Make you amana rent daya. Once we are West African, ECOWAS citizen, Oba Ghana, and as a landlord, there is no law banning them from giving them their homes. But no crimes are my mano every.
Yes, it's a competition for about.
Yes,
there is a need for the government to support local people.
Yes, the name say BC Dynamo, I offer. Now you bet me a rental above. Now it me I expand our economy enough say you let me absorb some of these other nationals coming in because once I sign on to ECOWAS, Ed so be free Togo, Nigeria, Benin, Eba, over stopping. There's no quota, there's no limitation. ECOWAS passport on exactly. Who's a question? Start time a bar for EU. By Western Europe, Eastern Europe, when you go, exactly. Because if there's that liberal borders, everybody gets attracted to the stronger economy. And unfortunately, in our part of the world, it is Ghana. And unless we decide to change our laws to make it, to give that limitation, there's not much we can do. We have to serve. I mean, I remember that time. Council houses or area I say not Lithuania for any other nationalities not by Jaffa might be not Britain for no crowd SRTI. I can sure some Brexit. Now
a diner I had that dana not fit for purpose. Atakwame dying, it's in so many areas. Accra, Kumasi are the same thing, other places. Uchema. I quite remember say last year, me send me drive work on Mampon and Kofa and Suta. I nearly cry. Say me turn it back in the year. Come turn it. The most terrible journey. Road is really at the end. We said to ourselves, "Wow, it's terrible."
That's so fast crying as well.
In Suta,
the road is being.
And yet, Mampon, in Suta, Sir?
Picture metro.
Oh, okay.
So
this last year, August, September. But what I'm saying is that the houses there, no. What plans is there for these houses? So, no, I know, say private, but something needs to be done.
A private, there is not much that can be done. By a government, and I'll tell you what we are doing. In Kotakra, they say a few so bad. By a government, say thousand they see. In the last couple of years, even predating us, now almost some year redevelopment. But now, residents, is a kick against it. Kanda, the same. Kanda cried. I remember when I took over, my first demonstration against me was Kanda residents. Yeah, must make a redevelopment or one task. But is because a lot of them don't trust the government to say or deliver what they say they will. Because redevelopment means having to move them to a new place, redeveloping the place, and then putting them back there. But when you say I buy there, because we see the now 25 years.
Yes.
Then
We don't know when you know.
No me go. It is meka ede hwa me ho ene ya ban ho say right now it is the people who enya ho kwa kaneshi Kanda people mom call demonstration no leaders na aba back say oh right now you who dem mutime enti no the cast yempe no we dey ya yesa dem say mumeye mai because now they've seen us building and completing on schedule. No can actually say, maybe any person development, you see beautiful apartments there. They were able to complete everything within 24 months. I'm for 42. It's not what you want now, so once the government starts delivering on what we say we will, that is how the people start trusting us. Because when you're doing I want to make attention.
So this goes with the national agenda. Say at some point, the government is starting where say the next government have to continue on and
yes, because you see elections, any government, it has consequences. Because if you could now voting booth, that's all you should know how you are voting, because how you vote it has consequences.
Yes,
it is all to Obama Obina say. Obala so bebo bibi egu and I say on to us and that's on timinya or to us it's a problem, but I think that as a country we are moving towards a place that we are holding ourselves and our governments more accountable.
Now, one of the viewers I won't hear programming say in August 2018 Nanado cut a lot of sword in different areas. Say I know I've cut it. But they want to know, say, if anything has been done with the construction of John Ajikun Kufuor Estates in Oyoko, Akro from off of Oyoko Road, and a housing junction also in the Ashanti region.
Wait, more producer in commit to me. Add the video from assistant to play at home for
Fabra
for your viewers to see what we have done for States.
Okay.
Yes, the president cut his sword. And yes, we
say I know have a cut sword.
Yes. Oh, and you see
sword cut, but they don't see anything.
Oh, say yeah, after sword cut to and video I making so bet me at one journalist or the similar question. Say Omanpenyi and Nakufado cut his sword or your kwakufru. Until one she told the TV crew near Koho, I say if she see. After you or not, there is my friend was saying you PR. Because when you got there and you saw the buildings that have sprung up there, it's your friend was say, oh, we then come and see me make your mafia. Then they say the mayor PR because he was shocked as to what was happening there.
So okay, whilst we wait, do you think, say, a lot of government agencies, should go private? In this way, will it be maybe managed better, and also the expectation of workers near the the way I see it, man. Obikura wajumama, almost say who the way Ghana operate here, long-term communities. Call lunch, we could dia no way, so I'll be walking on my back. And over back on your active.
Okay, so if you talk about ministries, you're talking about the civil service.
Yeah.
And companies, this is more like the quasi-public service, like what I'm doing.
What you are doing.
Okay.
But what you're doing was before, no? It was the same kind
Before, it was within the civil service.
That's it.
Right now, it's a limited liability.
That's it.
So, even though it is owned 100% by the government, it is still being run like a private business.
That's it.
It's, said, privatize.
No, what I'm trying to say is that if it become a limited company, say, although it's owned by the government and have a similar scheme, the way I'm running this business now, would it be better? Other agencies, can we put it into a test? And would we get more results?
I think what is missing is more of like a specific KPIs. In terms of, so you have been given a role. These are your key performance indicators. These are the measurable results that we want to achieve. That was what, to me, was missing when I went to Ghana. Now we have the State Interest and Governance Authority that is doing exactly that. To me, I think that was the key missing within the puzzle of the governance structure in terms of what is the expectation of the managers of this company. Now, at the beginning of every year, you sign a performance contract.
Okay.
SIGA representing the government or the Ministry of Finance, that at the end of the year, this is what we expect of you as the manager. So you at every quarter, you are being measured.
Yes, and monitored.
Yes. So it's now my own family if you work for me, because I have to answer to a higher authority. So by so doing, it is bringing some sanity in terms of the governance structure of state-owned enterprises. So now, if you see a lot of says, right now GHOC is doing well.
Yes.
Ghana Publishing, a lot of state-owned enterprises are doing well. It is not by magic, but having that proper management and then governance structure now is helping to change the way that state-owned enterprises are being managed. I think it's a step in the right direction. I'm hoping so we can even develop the governance structure even more, because it will just be business as usual. And this time too, it is not just the government, the companies that are being SIGA. It was the first just government the companies that used to be French, I've forgotten the name before SIGA. But right now, even the regulators are all part of the governance. Because regulators are being NPA, EPA, are part of SIGA. So there is that oversight. Everybody knows their marching orders.
Okay.
And they are all being evaluated. So it helps. And there's also that peer review of companies. I mean, TBBS here, my honorable Master is just down the road, but I'll pick up the phone, GHOC, how can we do business? So
yes.
BBC, Graduate Center is my next door. So there's that peer collaboration as well that is helping to drive.
So how soon Asante Hine Sa 205, 200 and I think it's 235 acres here.
Yeah, we're hoping to start that project by June of this year.
By June. Yeah. Okay. And the time scale of completing,
So you see, there a lot of these projects that we are doing, and I'll give you an example. We're doing Rock Estate in Bogatanga. It was a mistake to make actually say a housing deficit in and we don't have the data for it.
Like for example, the Ghana Statistical Service projected when we spoke that the total housing shortage in the country will hit over 5.7 million by the end of 2022.
Where? Where would it be? That is, to me, that is key. Like for example, Rock Estate for Bolga.
I'm saying the country needs to provide more than 100,000 housing units annually to meet the current demand. Housing units, that's the confusion. What is housing units? So maybe 1-2 bedroom.
Ghana Social Service, I mean, I've spoken to their leadership, and I'm more sure I'm why. We need more specifications in terms of what is going on, where it is. And as a company, we are doing our own internal research, in terms of market research to find out where it is. And that makes us, I was coming to that. Iboga, when we started Rock Estates, the market demanded, Rock Estates, we expect to do about 150 homes. But we are not going to put 150 homes all day. Because once you do it, and then Obi Antima, a dinosaur say. So we decided to build based on demand. Until by Obi Pedara, then we built for you. As compared to, say, Legacy Court in Adenta, where we know that CAC a dying 200 crowd because of the market research. We are doing similar in America here. So we are not waiting for demand before we build, because for most of the time now, the moment we start, we cut grass to do it. We have the market. So you see that the deficit is more in Accra. If you look at J. Kufuor Estates right now, even though we are about 80% done, in terms of sale, we have done just about 50%. So you realize that the demand is not matching the supply. So in those areas, we slow down on the supply because we don't want to overproduce. Okay. But I know
yes.
There are various ways that we are matching. Kufuor say, Kufuor affordable housing. Kumasi, affordable housing was all done at once. Kufuor affordable housing is being done in phases. We are doing 10 blocks at a time because we don't want to flood the market with homes that will just be sitting. We are just locking money because we want it. So we are as a specific targeting that we are using to delivering homes. It is the statistics that we always keep on saying. What we want, it would have been so helpful, is where it is, and then we'll be able to target more resources in those areas.
One tourist be an investor from the UK or Ghana. Now, when places like Nima, Kaswa, Amasaman, Alhaji, Abeka, La Paz, Suyotuum, of Anko, those areas of cover for one. The only mean and then we ain't didn't come. Or say, you can be similar to that earlier on. Or say, is there a plans in place? Okay. This is what you were talking about. Say, this is part of. This is actually in Accra. I was hoping you'll be able to give you the ones in Kumasi. These are apartment blocks that we are building in Accra. Okay.
And I'll tell you an interesting thing that's happened with what you are seeing now. You see, where these apartments were, I was told that it was a waterlogged place. And I looked at the map of Adenta, and I'm saying, Adenta, they say River Bien for how. So I contacted a number of agencies. So I said, look, because in the soil profile is like that of a river. Okay. So we just put our heads together, and with the help of Ghana Water, we found out that there has been a burst pipe deep down for about 10 years. These are treated water, and I changed the ecology of the whole place. Okay. So once we were able to plug that leak down, we were able to put up these fantastic homes that you are seeing there on the screen. But I'm hoping you'll be able to satisfy the curiosity of the person who wanted to see J. Kufuor Estates now. We'll be able to get the footage for J. Kufuor Estates. But these are apartments, 4, 3, and 2-bedroom apartments in Adenta. Okay. And I see that you also showed some 4-bedroom houses. So
what is the going prices, for example, for a 2-bedroom?
Okay, so it all depends on you as well. What's the what we focused on is say you have a uniformity at least on the exteriors, but excuse me, but the interior, Appiah ope TNG,
okay,
I mean POP,
okay,
we open plasterboard.
Or people have choice.
I said down with them there. You have to have a choice.
Yeah.
Obi hope windows, louvers. Obi also hope double glazing. Obi hope 10 mm windows. Now I say quite they even some bulletproof. Even the purpose of home, bulletproof windows. All these are extra cost.
Okay.
So even though a dial will show it all looks the same, it's all different.
The project, I think it's a very good initiative, but the question is, schools, government, hospitals, and what is happening? Move help with this initiative as well. Schools need to be honest with you, it's not fit for purpose. So, couldn't in Krasiano be baby. Very, very sad. Can this be added to more projects, to help, I think, manage these areas, I be say the obituary, maybe have to come from Ministry of Education.
Just of accommodation for them.
And accommodate school now classroom blocks,
classroom block they say the Ministry of Education.
But only number be and she say
it's true. But we are doing something about it. In our first term, there were over 800 new classroom blocks in the MPP and CU across the country. At least Miami say at least is over
areas in schools, schools be.
You feed them secondary school. Because me, Madam for no PMP or children because struggle to make a share.
Okay.
Winneba, me don't go after the market. Winneba secondary school. And even in America, some school, Pukuai. Pukuai for Mutini, the best, second cycle school in Ghana.
You can see Bas April, Francis Dua.
Oh, Kadeche Dua.
Yeah, okay. And the last time, so we go a year back, Angola. Now we are a class of one. We need
AQ. Me AQ 83.
Okay.
AQ 83.
AQ
Yeah, school. Yeah, they're quite there too. You're afraid to go the block.
I don't know called Prempe. Francis called Prempe.
You Pukua block. You to Kufa the block. Pukua. These are beautiful classroom. And over 800 in terms of school infrastructure.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been any government or more school infrastructure than the Kufado.
Okay.
With what has been done. And right now there's these new STEM centers across the country, just targeted towards science, the science and the maths. And it's been done.
Beside you, more share Pukwa, now more share Kumasi High School.
The Kumasi High School will be.
Yeah, the high school for now, old guys now.
Last year, a school block.
Okay, I will find out.
I find out as well.
Okay.
It's so quiet. Don't say it's the best. Also, me sure so.
Yeah, me is Salim Kukra Bobo.
Anyway, put you super quiet.
Ose, but that high school first choice.
Oh, and then maybe one.
Say, I do chumo. Minister of Education. So,
yeah, so it's been that. But also the others, kind of the training service and they get funded, so they are working very hard on those things. We are focusing more on accommodation. Say Ghana for workers, government workers, Ghana for.
I think the more to me expanding old houses how are people betting me generating maybe. You support them to build it, and then they have to pay it like a mortgage. And I say, I think it will help. It will be a new business because some of them, abusia fie ya jam will be on say be a nipa 5 and a share na home talk about BBC, maybe they will be able to afford and carry on with it because it's been Ghana now places like say if you back if you be a nipa by 2019 one toilet and I have toilet in you. I mean, things like this, this initiative, the support, so I think it will solve most of the crisis early.
Yeah, you are right. That is the future state. Say, a bit me, I drew baby, so make I say Ghana, one of our biggest problem here, uncompleted buildings. We'll be able to get the equity that is locked in the bushes now out. Say go for betting and complete your mufie. Na uzobi over osifie. No rent it. Or a double house. Oh, we'll be able to get those ones because we have so much Ghana, Sika or Hopa, but a lot of the money is locked in the bushes. Cement you good remuno.
Na omo chena en ko family say we can we say a lot. Ah, him for the education bush
because say in your long ayeti abuchi. Say bia osi dan ya maybe the 10 years in a base because kaka. It's every year bia or the 10,000 pounds cry could go rema. Say Sika.
No cry. I say no.
Oh, if we have that mortgage scheme where with me
so how are the people going to get to this mortgage scheme? No? Are you advertising in the UK here? How does the Ghana community knows? This is why Omega Live is the place. At the same money, because we can reach everywhere in the UK.
Say Ghana, there we have the scheme working. UK, okay. How am I adverts?
Okay.
Not to say who say because. The goal is, it's difficult to say, what's it, one country, no credit loan to another country. But even if, what to me, I remortgage you fee, it will UK. Not the, the equity, no, what they are to fee Ghana. Now, a bank name say, the collateral, no, it will have, but the principal will Ghana. If there's that agreement, and of course, as they say, with a lot of things that is happening in the world, a lot of banks look at the risk. Say, I know they got down Ghana. That's the way in here. How do I go and repossess the home in Ghana? And all that, the sticking point right now, they were UK. But in other jurisdictions, the banks are saying the ones that you use a collateral, you collateralize it, say with your home in that place. No, they don't care. They will do the mortgage. But in I'm hoping so will be good.
Nana, that's it. Now, and the last word that would have been my for UK, any other parts of the world, or now I understand, say, Nanado, with the Gabi or Chidako, no catch and say, oh no, and you may say, no, not now, no, program. This program, he loves it. Into the last message, I was already my anything. Any for UK, any Ghana, in particular, those people are almost struggle to raise funds to also be on this ladder.
When they met and they by the UK. I'm here to attend the UK branch of the Youth Forum.
Yes.
Courtesy of our chairman, Pani, MPP branch chairman, and a youth organizer. Richard Jemfi, and organizer Richmond Boati, first vice Ofake, Mapo Juma. I mean, I'm so happy by the kind of organization that they have put together. Is massive.
Because I know prayer now,
it's not prayer,
but I don't know why are they?
Yeah, so it's massive, and I think my basso, and that is why I'm here Saturday on the 12th. His Excellency Hajia Samira Baumia, second lady, and so back. And the minister, Honorable Sobachi, and so back. So housing obviously will be a major factor. It's out and treats Mobna UK or the youth. Let's meet in Woodgreen.
Yes, Dominion Center
on Saturday. Na yen tile bechi nenyefe. And there's a lot that will happen there. This His Excellency Judge Samira has a message for the youth of Ghana, and especially those who are in the diaspora. So I think you should all be there to listen to it. I also came with a lot of housing.
Okay.
Good news in the housing industry for Ghana, for especially UK. And let's meet there. Now main cassette Ghana for this is the time we have to draw close to each other. And man across the world, they face a lot of challenges. And these are challenges that nobody could foresee prior to 2020. Say it will happen. And once it has happened, we have to draw close to each other to make sure we mitigate the effects of your cruelness. You see, Appiah be anywhere in Takramafo. And no matter where you are on earth now, you still have a home called Ghana. Na yenhwe yen ma ye kro ni nye. Yen so ye kro ni. Because in Ghana we only have one Ghana.
Yes.
It would demand some of us will have to make some sacrifices for our country. But at this point, that is when this is how because of patriotism, it should be on the height. And you say, the biana ye pese, ye tree kroba for. Sebi, sometimes, ya said you have to say Ghana nipa na. Only the Australian pa, agree on the tree and say, Diana Maya, Ghana ni mo nyambe bafo. Soriano pa, bad news, in Ghana, a person spread it about Ghana. But Ghana, this year, Shamani say, Ghana so the say. Also, you saw your crony near Pejano. Edru babies, because one day we'll all have to go back home. Say, the troubles around the world there. What you become crying and I am sure. But at least Ghana there, you fear any fear. Into young she na yen crony. Ni yen my agasa. Young try na you should young jai the dependency on Obi. So baby your crony. Because Obi, I'm not talking about Ghana for what about you. I'm talking about say Akwesi Bronibi.
Yes.
And the baby your crony. Because Uncle Medi so colonial time.
Who can you be a mania testament or say and Pennyphone also no and take responsibility because Omo ye role models and they are the ones who are looking after the country. And if they are misbehaving, they have to know, say it have impact on everyone.
Oh, as far as me come you say Obia or on to Ghana and answer a crowd and me come here now.
Okay.
Including myself.
Okay.
Oh, because I'm talking about everybody. So we all have to realize we only have one country. So even if another passport crying Ghana you're mine.
Yes.
Most
Ghanaians,
if we work with the British passport, or pay ease of travel.
Yeah.
So we do could be beyond the visa. But a Ghana passport, which will go anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, anywhere. Yeah, I mean, you're sure going to be back with the British visa, British passport. What do you think?
You see, people Ghana because COVID 150. So okra foreign passport with $150. It was a passport per class.
You're proud of our country because Ghana and you cry and your back, sir.
So that is the message.
Yes, you pija your prune. Na yen jai with Timmy Wakame na me away no. Because if we bring our country down, who should lift it up for us?
Yes. Dawasi bebre. Nana Appiah Ampofo. The managing director of State Housing Company Limited. Yes, the producers Jobedu and Sister Dansoa for your hard work. It's unbelievable. Say all the technical difficulties that we experiencing. Although your friend Mr. Faceit. Yes, producer. Thank you very much and good night. Your friend, Mr. Kula. Good night. Good night, everyone. Good night.